Hello everybody, my name is Rhinerock. So in today's video this is going to be a bit different than my usual upload schedule, but this is not going to be like an update video or something that doesn't fit the community guidelines of YouTube, but I'm going to try my best to make a video that is otherwise worthwhile to see and potentially, a bit like eye-catching to say the least, so it's going to be interesting. So in today's video I am going to be doing a prediction video, and it's not your typical movie and TV show prediction video. It's going to be like something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time, and I didn't get to do it, but today I'm going to do it. So in today's video I am going to be predicting the Zombie Attack Revelations series finale, and if you don't know what that is, I'll leave a link to what the series is about in the description below, and if you're interested in what it is about, I'll link the full series in the description below as well as the person that makes the Zombie Attack, or at least directs the Zombie Attack. I've been watching the Zombie Attack for a long while, and while I have not watched every single episode, I do know quite a fair bit about the Zombie Attack, but not like too much, or else, I might be considered, someone who is like a true fan, but I normally consider that to the people who've watched like every single episode, and I haven't gotten around to that yet. But with the Zombie Attack nearing its final conclusion, I'm going to possibly review all the seasons of the Zombie Attack from start to finish in like later videos and give you my thoughts on it. But anyway, this is going to be a prediction video on the Zombie Attack Revelations episode 10, which is the final episode and the final chapter of the series. So what do I think will happen in the finale? I don't know, but let's find out. So far, the release date for the Zombie Attack Revelations episode 10 is unspecified, since episode 9, the recent episode and penultimate episode, came out a few days ago, and since I watched it, and it was like very lengthy and very, emotional and action-packed, it's a really good episode, and I'm so glad the whole thing was done in one take, because I didn't want it to be in multiple parts so that I would have to wait a bit longer. But now we've just got one episode left, and it's really crazy to hear that we are going to see what's going to happen in the series finally. And because the Zombie Attack has been around for 12 years at this point, at the making of this video, I am going to still give out my predictions, so be warned, this prediction video will contain spoilers for the Zombie Attack Revelations episode 9, so if you have not watched the Zombie Attack series, like any season, or just Revelations in particular, the final chapter, or I could say the final season of the Zombie Attack, then do not watch if you're thinking about watching the Machinama series all by yourself, like without the need of any major spoilers. But yeah, let's get into this prediction video. So the obvious prediction is that James will be the protagonist, which is prediction number 1. And these predictions might not be predictions, but I thought I might point out the obvious and state the obvious. But spoilers, by the way. In the last episode, in the climax of episode 9, Jake Stone, the protagonist of most of the Zombie Attack installments, and the character we've grown in love since the debut of the series, has died in the recent episode of the Zombie Attack Revelations, and I have a feeling that his son, James, will take on his role as protagonist in the last episode, which will be really crazy if it did, because well, it'd be really crazy if he did. But anyway, this is pretty obvious, but the prediction is otherwise worth noting, since James was technically the protagonist of the Zombie Attack Legacies, like the whole of Zombie Attack Legacies. But Jake's presence, James's dad, the protagonist of the original series, his presence lingered everywhere. It's like he was like a supernatural force, but in like the later episodes, we had an indication that he was still there. He was just on the run from the government after stopping the New York outbreak, stopping Kurt, vice versa, trying to figure out the truth, and so on and so forth. But because Jake has died in the final episode, James will be the one to carry on his mantle, and it's going to be really awesome since that Jake is dead and James will be the only person capable of filling in that mantle. It's not going to be Carter, since Carter has gone through hell at this point. He was like the antagonist of the first half of the Zombie Attack Revelations, but the true villain was actually Xander, and Carter in the second half was like, I may have doomed humanity, but at least I'm going to try and undo my mistakes. So he joined the good guys, and then he decided to redeem himself, which is a very good character arc, if I do say so myself. But anyway, we cannot wait until episode 10 comes out, so that'd be cool. But nonetheless, the prediction is still worth mentioning, nonetheless. It's painfully obvious and possibly going to happen in the 10th episode. It's still worth mentioning. So prediction number 2, James will wear Jake's beanie. Now I know this is a minor prediction, but the beanie that Jake or Josh or Jake, his real name's Jake, the original protagonist, James's dad, he constantly wore that beanie. It was everywhere in his GTA, well, not GTA, but it was everywhere in his character model based off GTA characters, and, well, based off the GTA character he's, like, modeled after, and throughout the character models of the Zombie Attack series going through their evolution year by year, Jake always wore that beanie, and as much as I would like to admit that it's nothing but a piece of, like, clothing, as a Zombie Attack fan myself, that beanie still carries a lot of significance and weight for a legacy to be passed on to someone else. And what better candidate to carry on Jake's legacy would be his son. Now, much like the prediction I told you about James being the new protagonist of the last episode, I got a feeling that somewhere between the 10th episode, he will find Jake's corpse, or what's left of his corpse, since the zombies were laying waste to him, not gonna lie. He would come across Jake's beanie, and he would, like, wear it to symbolize his new position and follow his legacy. It also gives off quite a bit of lore as well, because the Zombie Attack isn't without lore. Jake basically went on to say that the beanie he wore has always been with his dad, but since his dad died, he wore the beanie forever until his death. So I figure it would be obvious, like the first prediction, that James will be the protagonist, as well as wear Jake's beanie to symbolize his growing, oh, sorry, I dropped my phone, to symbolize his growing progression as a character, and his growing, role as the successor of his father, because James has been through so much. In one episode, he lost his mind and almost killed his family. He suffers from PTSD, anxiety, panic attacks. The guy has been through a lot, and despite it not being like a real TV show, or just like a fan-made TV show, I want it to be a TV show. Like, I want it to be on Netflix, or HBO Max, just the Zombie Attack. I want it to be more as a fan. I hope that one day it'll be made into an actual TV series, but more of that will be said in the description if I haven't said enough in this video. So prediction number 2, James will wear Jake's beanie in the episode. There's no doubt. If James is going to continue his legacy, then at some point he's got to wear his signature black beanie that he's always worn in the series, including like the Gang Lords of New York, which is a prequel to the Zombie Attack, which will be in my review series when I finally review every single episode from start to finish in chronological order, so I can finally get an understanding. So, with that being said, let's move on to prediction 3. Now, another major spoiler coming your way. Spoiler alert, much like Jake's death. James's immunity. More people will know about James's immunity. Now, so far in episode 9, only Carter, Jake, and Manny knew about James's immunity. But what if, during their final battle with Xander, the antagonist, they would, more of James's family members, including his friends like Maya, who he got into a romantic relationship with in the series, will possibly find out more about James's immunity, and how he had no adverse effects to being injected by Procasium, the zombie virus of the series. Now, I think it would be like a very cliche move to do this, but if let's just say the osmosis device was trying to shoot a laser beam out in the sky with samples of James's immune DNA that makes him immune to Procasium, it would cure the whole entire planet of Procasium, and people would just be like, no way, this was intended to actually happen, there's got to be some purpose here. So everyone will possibly think that James will be like some sort of immune person, since Jake was like, you're possibly the only person to possibly disarm the osmosis device, and since James is possibly going to do that in episode 10, people will probably find out about James's immunity, and I think that would include a lot of shock factor and surprise factor from the other characters, and would possibly surprise even his family, like obviously because James is immune and has been kept a year-long secret ever since his debut. So these predictions are pretty obvious, but they're fun nonetheless. So we've uncovered James being the protagonist of episode 10. James potentially going to wear Jake's beanie in the 10th episode, and then we're going to discover if people are going to know more about James's immunity. Like, more people, is like Charlene going to know about James's immunity? Like, Charlene is James's mother, obviously, Jake's wife. She's probably going to know about James's immunity. Catherine Faraday is probably going to expose like what caused the antidote of Procasium from the osmosis device. So she's possibly going to, publicly reveal James's immunity to the world, since James is possibly going to be the only way to stop the infection. Maya will discover James's immunity and will probably accept him because, they just started their relationship in the recent episode. So if that doesn't work, then I don't know what will. So, we discussed the immunity. Okay, now what about the final battle? Prediction number 4 is the final battle. Now, the final battle is going to be epic. There's just going to be this massive army of many military battalions all around the world trying to stop Xander and his army, which is really crazy. It's possibly going to be like Avengers Endgame, or that massive fight from the final Game of Thrones season that I heard about from time to time. But it's going to be epic, the final battle, and it's possibly going to be like very lengthy, probably going to last like an hour or two long. It's going to be really crazy. It's just going to be a whole army versus Xander, who is the most sadistic villain in the entirety of the Zombie Attack series, and the most powerful. Like, just in my opinion, he beats Kurt, Ezekiel, and I think those are the characters. I'm not sure. I might have to, like I said, I do have to review and watch all the Zombie Attack episodes from start to finish via chronological order. But the final battle between Xander, I do not know what is going to take, what direction it's going to take. Will Xander succeed in turning humanity back into the Stone Age? Well, not literally, since he intends to destroy humanity down to its last atom, making him kind of like Thanos of the Zombie Attack series, but not too much like him, since he's not like out there to snap half the universe and expect that half of the universe will thrive. No, the guy's a literal psychopath. He will do anything to turn humanity into, like an extinct paradise, because that's what villains do. They intend to use their nefarious schemes to, like stop the world and stop the heroes, just cliche stuff. But, we don't necessarily know about that, so we're just gonna have to wait until episode 10 comes out. And like I said, the release date hasn't, been specified yet or confirmed, because episode 4 came out a few days ago and it's still pretty new. But a man can dream about predicting the zombie attack. So prediction number 5. Prediction number 5 is how long the episode will be. Now, the episodes are extremely lengthy in the zombie attack revelations. Episode 1, I believe, was an hour long, continuing from episode 2 and 3, I believe, and the other episodes are like 2 hours long. I know that episode 6 is almost 3 hours long, which is crazy, and because of the people making this, GuitarGameGuy or Triple G Beast, or by real name Josh, he directs the zombie attack, and his hard work on pouring his heart and soul, blood and sweat and tears into the series is immaculate. I really love the storytelling and action sequences in the zombie attack. They're really amazing, and I just love the editing and the effects to make the zombie attack feel more like a movie than a machinima, which is like based off a game. But the episode length of episode 10 is going to be really massive, I tell ya. And since the recent episode is 4.5 hours long, I expect, in my predictionary sense, that episode 10 will be 5 to 6 hours long, possibly 7 to 8 hours long. It'll potentially be 5 to 6 hours long, since 8 hours or even like 10 hours seems a little excessive, but it could still plausibly work. But it'll have like more like hard work, and it'll just make like the editing seem more complicated and more complex. But episode 9 was delayed numerous times. It only took like 10 months for episode 9 to come out, which is understandable considering that the pandemic has been, spiraling out of control, and obviously the people who make the zombie attack have more jobs to do than just editing on YouTube and stuff. They have real life jobs. Same with me. I have like something to do. Like I'm not like out there making YouTube videos or streaming on Twitch 24/7. I actually have like education stuff to do. Like I've got school and stuff like that. It may be out of subject, but I'm just trying to relate to them, because people have stuff to do other than like playing games and watching streams and watching YouTube. I'm just spitting out facts. No offense. No offense to this statement. But anyway, the episode length I predict will be 5 to 6 hours long in episode 10, and I believe that's the like ideal length for a final chapter that's been hyped up since Revelations came out way back in 2016, which is pretty crazy. But there is one thing I'd like to clear up as a mention. The characters are possibly still going to be the same in Revelations. We'll have the same cast of characters, and because of the army, like from around the world fighting to stop Xander around Los Angeles, which I think the Zombie Attack series, the Zombie Attack Legacies and Revelations is set in, we'll possibly get to see more characters along the way, and I think that'd be crazy, to say the least. But with the benefit of hindsight, I think the characters will still remain the same nonetheless, in terms of, what major importance they have. We'll have Carter, Alex, James, Maya, Charlene, Gordon, Manny, Justin, and so on and so forth. But we could have new characters as well, as additionally. But yeah, I don't think the characters will change that much. And finally, I'm approximately 19 minutes in, or like more than 19 minutes actually. I'm gonna have to cut through this one pretty fast, because the longer this video is, the more it'll upload, because I'm filming this on my phone. But the final prediction I have is the ending. Now, the Zombie Attack isn't exactly a series full of sunshine and rainbows. It is actually a really dark machinima series. We got swearing, coarse language, gore, graphic detail, and pretty much everything that makes the zombie attack R-rated. And that's why I love the zombie attack. The zombie attack does not pull its punches when it comes to emotion and heavy action. That's why I felt a urge to, cry when Jake died, because the way he went was so brutal, and pretty much just a brutal way to end a character's arc in general, because before he died, he basically quoted Arthur Morgan about him being afraid of death and all that, which is really crazy, considering that when the trailer came out for the Zombie Attack Revelations, Carter's and Jake's lines were pretty much based off of Captain America Civil War, which is still pretty new at the time before release. But, anyway, the ending of the Zombie Attack the Zombie Attack Revelations will feature a somewhat bleak ending. I'm not talking about Xander succeeding in his mission, or, everyone dying from the osmosis device explosion, or just anything like that. The zombie attack will have, a bleak ending, and the bleak ending will be a further understanding of why Jake did what he did at the end of episode 9, and why his importance, symbolized in his beanie passed on to his son, is an important reminder to carry from. And, with that being said, the ending will possibly feature a scene where every one of Jake's friends and his family will go to a funeral and pay respects for him, pay their respects to him, and do everything, say everything that thank Jake for everything that he did for humanity and what he did to survive. He might even become a savior of Los Angeles, considering that the government practically hunt him as a fugitive and criminal. So if they brand him a savior of Los Angeles or humanity, I wouldn't be surprised, considering the amount of heroic stuff he has done over the past 30 years in zombie attack lore. But I'd like to see a funeral scene play out after Jake's death, and it'll be really emotional when James, if I get to see him wearing his father's beanie, makes a love speech about everything his father did and what it did for James to be influenced by him to join Nepo, then become a savior of humanity with his immunity and stuff. It basically means in short terms that everything James did up until that point in the series, that it has all been inspired by his father, because his father have inspired every single part of his family. Carter is trying his best to be himself, but in reality he's kind of like Jake's shadow, with him being his brother and all. James is trying to live up to his legacy, and I think that is something really, really, really cool. And in spite of it all, I think the Zombie Attack series episode 10 will be a great episode, and I just don't know when the series will conclude, because I've been waiting a few months for episode 9, and I'm possibly going to have to wait for another few months. If it's delayed, I understand, but a man can wait and dream, and that's me right now. That's me. I'm gonna try my best to wait for the Zombie Attack series Revelations episode 10, because it's going to be really cool, and this series needs to deserve more recognition, and that I cannot say no better than myself, because the people who made this they deserve more subscribers. But anyhow, that is my long video of predicting what I think will be what will happen in the Zombie Attack Revelations episode 10. If you're interested in me reviewing the entire series from chronological order from start to finish, then by all means hit the like button on this video and give me a thumbs up, so you'll never miss out on any videos I make. So, I'm Ragnarok, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe, and peace out.